This one's going to be a short one, you guys. In January in 2025, we had that open house here, and I showed you some pictures of that early on the channel here. And one of the guys that was on hand asked me if I had built a D&I themed layout at one point. And he was referring to pictures that he'd seen on social media of the Sioux Junction layout that I'd put together some years ago, and that layout is now defunct, but it was a 4x8 track plan that I had intended to show around at train shows and operate at home and have fun with and kind of have a learning experience. It was successful on all counts, and it did get taken to some train shows. So what I wanted to do with this episode is show you the track plan and show you a couple of scenes around the layout as they existed back in the day when that layout was still in operation. And then if things go well, if things are well received, I'll maybe go into a little bit of layout construction and or operations of the layout if that seems appropriate later. So in the meantime, let's get started taking a look at that track plan.
Black Hills and Eastern Railroad, from the plains of the Sioux Empire to the heart of the hills.
So we'll get started here by taking a look at the track plan of this HO scale model railroad that I built. This track plan came out in January 2007 in Model Railroader, and I had been looking for a track plan for an HO scale, sort of a portable HO scale model railroad. I had been looking for continuous running and something that would offer a little bit in the way of operations, and this really had it all. So it checked all those boxes with the addition of this little tail or cassette or whatever you might call this over here. I did made a few minor changes to this. Essentially, the main 4x8 here I kept the same, except that I put a view block through here in approximation of this street here, and then maybe a little bit up towards this tree or so. To kind of separate one side from the other and sort of establish a little bit of a feeling of distance or going some distance between downtown Sioux Falls and parts outlying from Sioux Falls. And also, I put scenery on the switching extension here, and my track plan was a little bit different. I had crossovers, and I had a view block also going down the middle of this, so I separated essentially the Morefield Southern's line up north of town from the Del Rapids line. D&I over here with a quarry. We never actually modeled a quarry, but we'd pull rock cars and ballast and stuff out of there, and we had a little farm service industry on this side of this switching cassette as well. So I'll show you a couple other pictures from around the layout as it existed back in the day. One of the purposes of the layout was to serve as a backdrop, photo backdrop or a diorama for some of the models that I had just completed, and I still like to do that. Maybe not as much as I used to, but who here in the audience, let me know in the comments below, can pick out the FUBI in this picture. Study hard. This is a GP10 that I did for myself on an Atlas unit. I chopped the nose, and before all those ready to run chop nose GP9s came out, and GP10s, I guess there hasn't been a GP10 yet, but here's mine that I did many years ago. And of course the D&I, this is what caused, I think it was Ross that asked me if I had a D&I layout. Here is my D&I 3029. This is a Kato SD40-2 that I painted for myself many years ago. And D&I crossing, and can you see the FUBI in this picture too? This is D&I crossing, what I sort of fashioned as my Sioux River Falls crossing. Obviously that bridge is way not correct, but this is my first time trying my hand at pouring water, and I think it turned out pretty well. Some of that Sioux quartzite there in the foreground down below the trestle is actually real Sioux quartzite. The other stuff is out of rock molds and then painted. And here's D&I operating over on the Morefield Southern side of things. As I said, I used a lot of I use this layout a lot for photo opportunities. Pretty cool, huh? And then here's D&I meeting BNSF downtown Sioux Falls. And here's that famous picture that that I used as the masthead here on the Black Hills and Eastern YouTube channel. And probably most of you have never seen this at full resolution, but here it is, kind of giving you a setup for what I was doing back then, and then good old Morefield Southern. Here's the 356, that SD40-2 that I painted for myself again a long time ago at the Willow Creek crossing on the Morefield Southern side of that switching cassette. So just a little bit more information on this track plan. The model railroader guys, I believe, called it River Junction. Again, 2007 January. They covered this as they sometimes do in the beginning of the year of the magazine. They go into depth on building a small, achievable layout, and they spent 2 or 3 months on this. They showed the overall track plan and then the bench work in that the first 3 months and the scenery onward. They did this on Kato Unitrack, and I did mine on Code 83 Atlas Flex Track and switches, and I was quite satisfied with how mine came out. And the scenery was, as you see in these in the slideshow, was decent. So, and as far as operating, I won't go into excruciating detail here, but my friend Alan and I did prove out that this layout could keep a couple of guys busy for several hours. Running both connections off of the switching cassette, and then BN operations or BNSF operations on the main layout. It was a lot of fun, actually, in a small space. Maybe something you wouldn't necessarily expect, but it was a very good time.
So here's where we're going to pull the pin on this particular episode. I hope you enjoyed the content here. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe for more. Leave us a comment down below. Have you had any experience building and operating 4x8s, especially if you've done model railroad operations on 4x8s? I'm especially interested to hear about any of that. Leave a comment below, like I said, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.